Hello and welcome. My name is Evans-Holter and I am a student in the Coaching and Exercise Science program at Concordia University, Irvine. Today we're going to talk about perseverance. We actually use several phrases and common sayings that convey this idea of perseverance. We'll start by taking a look at a few of those. You'll see on this slide the first picture with the phrase "get it done" is a person climbing a mountain. Mountain climbing definitely takes perseverance and determination, someone willing to stick with it until they accomplish their goal. The second picture, the dog on the bone. The dog, if you've ever given them a bone, once they start enjoying it, they do not let go until they are finished with it. And then the third picture is Dory, with of course the infamous saying, "just keep swimming." I often hear people reiterating her words when they are trying to accomplish a task that they have to try and try again in order to accomplish. I hear them often saying, "just keep swimming, just keep swimming." So let's take a look now at the actual definition of the word perseverance and see how these phrases echo that definition. The definition for perseverance, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, is continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or obstacles. So you can see how those phrases, "get it done," "dog on a bone," and "just keep swimming," echo this definition and this idea of continued determination. The dictionary also gives us some synonyms. Synonyms that are commonly used are persistence, determination, tenacity, and grit. Now that we have taken a look at the definition, the synonyms, and common sayings, let's talk about perseverance from birth. Did you realize that we are born with perseverance? On this next slide, if you think about it, babies are born and what do? They cry. They cry until their needs are met. They are persistent. Looking at the activities on this slide, learning to walk, ride a bicycle, tie your shoe, or read are all activities that take trial and error. Yet, every one of us sticks with it until we've mastered it. We are literally born with perseverance. And is perseverance really that important? I believe that it is. Jesus teaches us to be persistent and to persevere. So let's take a look at a couple of his teachings. On this slide, you'll see that two of Jesus's parables are mentioned, both referenced here in the Gospel of Luke. The first one, a friend at midnight. And what happens here is a friend has some guests show up, but he's got no food, goes to his neighbor's house, knocks on the door wanting food. The neighbor says, "I'm in bed, my kids are in bed, and I'm not getting up." But the friend doesn't want to go back to his house without bread for his guest, so he continues to knock. He does not give up. And eventually his friend does get up and give him the bread that he needs in order so that he can go home and feed his guest. In the second parable, the persistent widow, we have a widow who continues to go to the judge seeking a ruling in her favor. And at first the judge is inclined to ignore her, but because of her persistence, he finally gives her what she's asking for and gives her the ruling that she requested. Both of these parables were given by Jesus to show the importance of persisting in prayer. And so now we know that we were literally born with perseverance in us, and it is a natural quality, and we know that it's important to Jesus. But let's take perseverance and switch it to the world of sports. Looking at these three quotes from Coach Bruce Brown out of his book, Teaching Character Through Sport, which was a book I learned much from. Let's take a look at these three quotes on persistence or perseverance. The first one says, "Great teams have persistence." The second one says, "Great teams understand it takes time to reach their potential." And then the third quote says, "Great teams have no quit in them." So what is this saying? This is saying that teams that want to be great are going to have to realize it's going to take time to reach their potential. So they're going to need to stick with it. They're going to be determined not to quit or give up. And in the end, the goal that they will achieve is that they will be great because they have persisted. So let's take these insights and take a look at perseverance in the athlete. For this example, I'm going to share with you my own story. So my story, I was a fast pitch softball pitcher. In elementary and middle school, we progressed from slow pitch to modified slow pitch, and then in the high school, we learned how to do the windmill fast pitch. When the pitching coach came out, one practice early on in my freshman year, I met with the pitching coach and learned the fundamentals. And after that, it was up to me. If pitching was something that I truly wanted to do and wanted to excel at, which I did, then it was up to me to figure out how to get the practice time in. And so I began meeting my father at the door every day when he got home from work. My mother would delay dinner so that I could get my pitching practice in. And I would meet my dad and hand him his sneakers. I would have his glove, my glove, and a bucket of balls. And we would go outside and I would throw 100 pitches every day. He would count them. And as time went on, it went a little quicker and got a little easier on him. But I'm very thankful that he did that for me, because I was able to work through the obstacles, rise above the obstacles, and become that efficient and effective and accurate great pitcher that I wanted to be. And I played through high school, into college, and beyond. And it is very true that when somebody is truly wanting to achieve a goal, that inner determination will drive them to find a way to make it happen. And they will find the practice time, and they will find a way to rise above or push through their obstacles. Let's take a look at perseverance for a coach. This is a collage because there are so many different ways that a coach must persevere. We must meet student athletes on an individual level. We must encourage them. We must meet them at their level, teach them not only skills, but character, and we must get them to work together as a team. So you see individual athletes on here and a team standing together. The word teamwork, because as a coach at the high school level, I'm also working with my assistant coaches. I'm also working with the coaches at the middle school who are feeding into my program, and I'm working with my athletic director and my principal as well. The bucket of balls represents the drills that just seemingly have no end, because we're going to keep at it until we get it right. The field represents the fact that coaches need to be able to teach every position, and we need to continue to better ourselves so that we can better our team. And injuries. No coach likes to hear that one of their athletes is injured, but we must find a way to persevere even without that person in the roster and get it done. And then the scoreboard. There's no score on that scoreboard, because the score really doesn't matter. Whether we're winning or losing, we must persevere. And we must not quit on our kids, because we're there to make a positive impact and teach them how to be student athletes of character. And so on the note of not quitting, I want to leave you with this poem. This poem is titled Don't Quit by Edgar Albert Guest, and I'm going to read this to you. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a fellow turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Often the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint and faltering man. Often the struggler has given up when he might have captured the victor's cup. And he learned too late, when the night came down, how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. So in summary, perseverance is to overcome difficult circumstances to achieve a goal. And persistence begins at birth. It is human nature, and Jesus himself tells us to persevere. Athletes use perseverance to dig deep and give it all they've got to reach their goals. And coaches need perseverance to stick with it and provide a positive example, especially when the team is losing and the athletes have a bad attitude. Transformational coaches persevere to make a positive impact and build people of character through sport. Don't quit.